Yo, 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 what is up? What is up? What is good? Welcome back to the third intermission podcast. It's your boy Avery here in the host chair. And for those of you seeing on YouTube, yes, this is our first full episode being aired on YouTube. So you're gonna have more options to tap into third intermission. You're gonna add some more video content on top of our audio content on the audio platforms. It's Avery in the host chair filling in for Dave. We got Marsha, we got Troy this evening. Marsha, what's going on?
We are out here alive, well, not well, cold. Ostriches are dead in British Columbia. I don't know what to tell you. Liberals are conservatives, conservatives are liberals. The world is slightly in shambles, but hockey lives on.
This took a this took a dark turn like 40 seconds in.
We gotta make it interesting for the first YouTube day. Come on, come on.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Troy, how you doing, sir? Do you have thoughts on the ostriches as well?
Um, they're interesting birds, I guess. Oh.
Oh.
Everything's all right over here on this end. Just keeping tabs on the ongoing Leaf game as of this recording. I believe we are still up. Yeah, it's 4-3 going into the third period against the Carolina Hurricanes. How are you, Avery? How are things with you?
No, I am busy again going through the again I covered the Oilers 9-1 loss. We'll get into that, don't you worry. We'll get into that 9-1 debacle against Colorado, which I was privy to, unfortunately. And just getting ready to come out east to do some Canada soccer stuff. But no, but things are okay as you mentioned, Troy. The time is taping. It's a Hall of Fame game right now going on with the Leafs and the Carolina Hurricanes. Of course, we mentioned before in the show, the Leafs have had an up and down season to start the year. Right now, they're up 4-3 on the Carolina Hurricanes. I know you haven't been here in a bit, Marshall, so I'll ask you, Marshall, what are your thoughts on the Leafs November, which has been very hot and cold?
You know what? I'm not surprised. This is the pattern of the Leafs for as long as I've had my love-hate relationship with this team. This is part of the pattern. So I'm not in panic mode yet. October is just like you'll have one or two or three really good games, and then the rest will just be like pure trash. And then November will be like all over the place, 6, 7. Um, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I did that. But yes, November will be all over the place until they kind of start to regulate themselves going into December. So this is exactly how I expect it to play out. So I'm not surprised. I'm not angry. I'm kind of just going with the flow for the Leafs November.
No, that's fair enough. And right now, currently, Toronto, I mentioned off top there, currently Toronto is up 4-3 at the second intermission. Goals from William Nylander, John Tavares, and Austin Matthews. So the big boys waking up again for Toronto. We saw Tavares have a great game against the Utah Mammoth, which we had on our first season game of the week broadcast. Myself and Dave taking care of that. Troy, what are your thoughts on this team right now as they're getting a lot of production in this game against Carolina from Matthews, Nylander, and Tavares?
Well, it's nice to see that some of the highest paid players are showing their worth. Um, I saw somewhere where somebody was like, "Oh, Matthews is posting pedestrian numbers. I'll take it over no points at all." I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, would you? Obviously, everybody would love to see more offensive output, but you got to take what you can get. Um, Team wise, overall, I'm with Marsha. I don't think it's time to hit the panic button yet. We're only a few games into November, and usually the Leafs do have a pretty decent November. Give it some time, and hopefully history repeats itself in terms of collecting points. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it.
Exactly. That's a big thing right now. And seeing the NHL standings right now and seeing where this Maple Leafs team is at right now, the Eastern Conference, we said on season game of the week, that logjam right now is wild because, yes, Toronto is sitting in fifth in the Atlantic, but first in the Atlantic is Montreal at 22 points. The volatility is something where every game right now is going to matter for Toronto. I know it's only 15 games in, but you want to keep pace with the pack right now because the Eastern Conference is a bona fide dogfight.
No, truly. And it will continue to be that until January. You'll kind of just be in this rotation of, oh, who's it going to be today? Okay, this person won this game. They're going to take the lead. Oh, they maybe won the next two games. Like it's literally going to be this constant change until you see someone pull away in the new year. And maybe even after that Olympic break
Hmm.
type vibe that we'll see. Um, but you know what? I think that's part of the fun of the NHL and all of the talent that we see going into it. It's a little bit stressful. I'm not gonna lie, especially with some of the divisions being as stacked as they are. But um, for now, I will say like enjoy the fun. Enjoy
Yeah,
the fun.
no, I agree. And look at how wild the East is right now. Like Buffalo is in dead last in their division. Buffalo right now, they're sitting in dead last in the Atlantic at 5, 6, and 4. Usually, for Buffalo to be dead last, we're talking about a team starting the year at 0-9-1, 2-9-1, and in the Metropolitan, Columbus, they're 7-7, and they're in dead last. Nothing makes sense right now.
Nope, absolutely not.
Columbus is getting really good goaltending. I'm surprised they are where they are. You said Montreal is at top of the Atlantic right now, but that fall off is going to be tremendous. I mean, don't get me wrong, Montreal is a good team, and like I've said many times on this podcast before, like I'm a huge Cole Caulfield fan. Like that kid is dynamic. Like I love everything about this kid's game. But they're winning despite the fact that Samuel Montembeau sucks. Okay, like he's terrible. He is like he was on the Four Nations roster, no, but like his game has regressed a lot, and they're winning despite him. Like I don't know, they might have to address that goaltending, maybe sooner than later, but could be worse. You could be Caden Primo, who got put on waivers and picked up by the Hurricanes because I don't know. I guess they need goaltending help of some kind over there.
Yeah, the Montreal ride has been interesting. I mean, that's a team that I want to see how far they can go. I want to see how far they can take this, led by Caulfield, Nick Suzuki. That's a volatile team, but if they can hang on, I mean, I do think they'll eventually fall out of first place, but I still think they're gonna be a playoff team, Troy.
Oh yeah, I whether they get in as a wild card or as third seed, I mean, yeah, I definitely expect to have in the playoffs this year. Um, Once you get there, anything can happen, right? Um, I'm curious to see how things play out in Detroit because I mean, like they're up and they've got the goaltending. They finally got the goaltending with Gibson. Uh, Talbot's turning back the clock. He's looking like he's 28 instead of 38. Patrick Kane, him too. He's turning around. He's turning back the clock too, like his young self. It's gonna be an interesting ride, but we're only like a month and a half into the season, and I hate to mention their name, but you can't count out the Florida Panthers. I mean, yeah, they're kind of MIA in terms of the standings right now, but they can heat up. They
It's
can heat
true.
up any moment.
It's
It's
true.
unfortunate, but it's the truth.
Marsha, is there any team right now you're seeing to start and you're like, wow, you're either you're impressed by what they're doing or you're thinking like, come on, really? After 15 games into the season, in your mind, is there one team in your mind that's at that point for you, good or bad?
Honestly, Washington, because they've been so, and like going back to when we talked to Fatu, it's that whole like middle of the pack vibe that they're doing, but it's kind of flying under the radar. And I'll also say the same about the Islanders. They're both kind of just hovering around. They're doing well, but then they also have their kind of little fall offs as they have some weird off games. But you see the little adjustments that they're making in game to enhance individual abilities, which in turn, as a team, they get better and they grow. And you see that energy of them working together better on the ice somehow they just look better overall from the past couple of years, and I think that is flying way under the radar of everyone and they'll kind of be a surprise. So I think they're two teams that are really really one to keep an eye on as the season goes on.
Hmm. And looking at the Islanders, who I'm impressed with is Matthew Schaefer. He is someone who, I figured he would be a really good NHL player. I didn't know he'd be this good, or didn't think he'd be this good 15 games into his career. He
Exactly.
he's honestly making people think about should he be on Team Canada in Italy. Like people are genuinely trying to start the campaign to see him play on the Olympic team. That's a real argument going around right now, Matthew Schaefer.
Mind you, Erie's like, can we have him back? Yeah, no, you make a really good point there. But I would say like the one thing that I'm slightly worried about when it comes to him is like the running him into the ground and playing him too hard too fast.
Mhm.
And I don't think the Islanders would do that per se, but I think if we push him into that Olympics realm, that Team Canada playing way too fast, that might kind of stunt him a little bit. Not that he wouldn't be good and he wouldn't be able to adapt, but I think it would just be a lot of pressure really, really early.
Oh, I totally agree with that. But you know what? If he's I mean, right now he has 11 points right now. But if he's put himself in a place where he could play his way on the Team Canada, you know what? I say why not? Because I'm a firm
Mm-hmm.
believer in. I think way too often with Hockey Canada and Team Canada, they try to build sometimes or in different tournaments. You see, North American teams try to build teams that fit certain roles way too much. Like you're playing the
Yeah.
Blue Jackets on a Tuesday night and you're not at the Olympic Games. I'm on of the mindset of just build the best team possible. Don't worry about needing a checker, needing a this, needing a that. Put the 23
Mm-hmm.
best players in your country on the roster. Doesn't matter who it is.
And they'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You don't need a checking forward to play against Denmark or play against Germany. Like you're not playing the Minnesota Wild here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's possible he does the World Juniors and Olympics?
I don't. I think it's gonna be one or the other. It's gonna be pick one, or it's gonna be I saw Ken having that summit where if he proves that or he takes that next jump, it's gonna be he can't play both. It's gonna be one or the other. I think
Mm-hmm.
because at that point you're asking a guy to play a lot of hockey. If it's already
Yeah.
condensed, it's already a condensed schedule, regular season. Like that's way, and also too, what if the Islanders make the playoffs? That's a lot of hockey asking the kid to play if he does. If he's on the radar for both teams. So I think it's one or the other. More likely the World Junior team, but there is outside shot of him at the Olympic Games. But more likely the World Juniors, I feel.
To answer your question about the team that surprises me in the East,
Yes, Troy, go
I
ahead.
am going to go ahead and say the New York Rangers playing at home.
Yo, that is a
What what is going on at Madison Square Garden?
bruh.
Who cursed them? Somebody fix it.
The way in which they cannot score a goal on home ice is comedy.
I don't know, man.
It's bad. It's so bad.
Like,
Like, I don't understand. I think what they need to do is go like hang up like a banner of like the team name that they're playing and just hang it over the top of Madison Square Garden. Maybe they'll think it's a road game and play better.
like I haven't seen this inability to score at home since Johnny Bravo.
Oh my god. Oh. But you know what? I really I really wish someone would have the gall to ask them. Just be like, hey, so what? So what's it to you? What's going on?
Like it's
Are you like, is there some sort of like,
it, it, I think one of the greatest stats, there was a stat that came out here, gang, that the Rangers are the first team to be shut out in their first 5 of 7 home games since the 1928-29 Pittsburgh Pirates.
When the Pittsburgh Pirates were a hockey team and not
So,
a baseball team.
fun fact, there were two teams called at the same time. One played baseball, one played hockey. Because so back in the day, you had teams in the same city sharing the exact same name. So you had a
I
Pittsburgh
wonder how
Pirate.
confusing that was.
I mean, that's the one thing I would love to wonder. Like, that's the one thing I always thought was funny. That's the reason why you had St. Louis Cardinals baseball and football teams, New York Giants baseball and football teams, because they figured share the same brand for synergy. I mean, but that was the thinking 100 years ago.
I
Yeah,
mean, if they were
imagine trying to
actually
place bets
cohesive.
on these teams and you don't know which one you're putting money on. You're gonna lose your house betting on the Jets.
Imagine some dude opening up 1928 FanDuel. I'm trying to bet.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
I bet
It
the
would
Pirates.
rewrite the history book.
I bet the Pirates. Which one? Hockey Pirates. No! Oh my goodness, this show's already going out of hand here. So get things on track again. I'll t- we'll bring things back. We mentioned it was a Hall of Fame game. The Hockey Hall of Fame class on Monday. They're inducting their new class. Time this taping will already be done, but the newest class includes Jen Botterill, Zdeno Chara, Brenna Decker, Duncan Keith, Alex McGillney, Joe Thornton, Jack Parker, and Danielle Sauvigny. The class of 2025, all deserving of being in the hall. And I want to say, first of all, I'm glad finally Alex McGillney's going to the hall. I'm glad he's finally going in, but I do admit it's kind of funny how for many years, the big thing with the Hall of Fame was they didn't want to put him in because they were afraid he wouldn't show up. And what happened? He didn't show up. He's not going to be here. He'll be recording a video for the ceremony on Monday. I think it's kind of funny that all those concerns about him not showing up did. I think it's kind of funny how to him it's like, I'm going to Hall of Fame. Okay, cool. Want to come to Toronto? Nah.
You know what? That's a boss move. He's like, y'all put me where I need to be, but I know where I'm gonna be. You'll put me in there regardless. Mic drop. Real. Good
Yeah,
for
he's probably sitting there just like, y'all took long enough. You guys don't deserve my presence. I'm gonna go where the money is better.
uh
Probably like, you're not gonna pay me to be there, so why not go where somebody will pay me to be?
I mean, I that would be kind of fun. That would be kind of funny if his thinking or mentality was, "Yo, I should have been in this hall literally 12 years ago. Now I'm going in? Nah, hold that."
Yeah.
Because he's been eligible for Hall of Fame since I believe about 2009, 2010. He's been eligible, and he has to wait until 2025 to get in.
He knows his worth.
Nonsense. Yeah, like Marsha said, keep that.
Now that is why, but I do love Joe Thornton goes in the hall. Jennifer Botterill, Brown Decker go into the Hall of Fame. And I think it's one of it's one of the first classes to have three women in the Hall of Fame. So I love the fact we're getting more women in the Hall of Fame in a single class.
It's about time. Like what? Okay, aside from the stupid rule, what was stopping you? Like we know that there are so many women that you need to recognize, and y'all need to catch up.
Hmm.
Come on,
Right?
because like some of the men that they were putting in, I'm like, come on, who are you? You were just putting in names to put in names when we could have like filled in some of the really cool women that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe
Absolutely.
now I'll like use a ticket and I'll go back after a couple of years.
Like the fact that Colin Campbell got in the Hall of Fame before Jen Botterill did to me is absurd. Like, and again, like, what has Colin Campbell done to be a Hall of Famer? Really, really, to like
Great
that.
question.
That to me has always been just that to me has always just irked me because Colin Campbell had a an average playing career, an average coaching career, and as an NHL executive has had more controversy than anything else. So I don't know why that was Hall of Fame worthy over women who won Olympic medals, had scoring
Mhm.
titles, and had were jersey retirements from universities.
Doing it just to do it, and they're like, "Oh, okay, we need another name. We need another name. Who's a guy? Who's a guy? Oh, okay, this one." Like, or
Right?
like rolling a lottery ball wheel, and he's the first name. Like, all power to you. Great, you did it. Congratulations. But there are so many other people that would have deserved that before you. I'm happy they're actually taking it seriously now.
Absolutely, but also too, what I always find wild is that here's the one thing where people who are what do I want to say? Ignorant, dumb, can't talk hockey. Like one of the big things I always saw in sports, and I'm glad she can shut people up about this, is Jen Botterill when people always like to come for her on the Sportsnet panel. And people like to do that nonsense about, oh, she's never played the game. What does she know? Where's your medals? Where's your plaque in Toronto? Where's
Mhm.
your Olympic gold medals? I don't see it on you. Where'd you play?
What qualifications do you have to be making such statements apart from sitting on your couch and watching the sport on the television?
That always blows me away. That you're telling a multi-time world champion, a multi-time Olympic gold medalist, you don't know the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When
Mm-hmm.
when you crashed out of junior C,
If they even got there, can we tie up a pair of skates? I don't know.
like you were averaging half a point a game in house league. Be quiet.
No, for real. For real. The misogyny runs deep. It runs so deep.
It blows me away. And I'm sure people do the exact same thing for Brianna Decker, who is a U.S. hockey legend. And I look at that and think to myself again, like, you cannot, Mister Hausleager, handle high level hockey. You don't know the concepts. You're an entirely the eye test works for me person. You barely know what you're watching when you're trying to comprehend at least power play. Yet you want to badmouth somebody who gets paid to play the sport and gets paid to talk about it. All right.
Yeah. And wasn't she also one of the five that was part of the All-Star game a
Mm-hmm.
couple years ago?
Actually, was Jen at that?
Brianna Decker.
Yes, Brand Decker was,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was part of the
Some people
NHL
behave
All-Star
like
game
Google isn't free.
and you were oh, what are you doing again? Sorry, sir. So the jealousy.
Yeah, the jealousy to me has just been absurd. Again, like that's I know both Brianna and of course Danielle as well and Jen. I know they're above that, but it just always kills me. People have that level of entitlement and ignorance to think they know more than Olympians and now Hall of Famers.
I'm confused. I don't understand. What are we doing here?
I don't know. It blows me away. And of course, we see other names involved. You know what? I maybe it's just me. This is just me. But I know people love it. I saw the Hall of Fame press conference. Joe Thornton was there. Joe Thornton, Joe, we gotta trim that beard a little bit. That beard is still too. I know it's his thing now. I know the wild beard is Joe Thornton's thing. But Joe, let's tighten that beard up a little bit. Let's tighten that up. Let's put some oil in that beard. It still looks too wild to me.
Just a little,
I'm
little.
just saying. See, Troy's got a good beard. I can see Troy be grooming taking care of that beard. Joe Thornton out there, I don't know. With the wild beard and the suits, I don't know about that one, Joe. I mean, great. I mean, Hall of Fame player, absolutely deserves his dues in the Hall of Fame. But that beard, I don't know. I could be in the minority on that
Yeah,
one.
He doesn't have to wear a
all that
suit
coin.
or anything anymore. He's just in t-shirts and tank tops, and so it's not getting caught in anything. So he's just letting it do its thing.
He can't tell me he's not chewing on his hair every once in a while when he's trying to eat a sandwich or something.
Has to, has to. Oh my gosh, and seeing Joe Thornton's accolades, he had some years where some of his numbers are again over 1,500 points, 1,000 assists, or 400 goals. Some of the years he had showed like he was the A1 playmaker in the league. He had a year like the 06-07 year in San Jose. He had 22 goals and 92 helpers. Like that ratio is hilarious, but that's gonna happen. You're not gonna see a guy this again.
I think the
It's
last time I saw a guy like that was before him, and that guy was Adam Oates, where he was more playmaker than shooter.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
yeah, seeing something like that again, it's gonna be tough. I mean, there's lots of good candidates, but I don't know. It's gonna be tough to see somebody put up numbers like that.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be very, very tough to see. And of course, if you remember those who were tapping in, a Leaf for a brief period of time played in the bubble year. He played in 2021, put up 20 points in 44 games, and that's a year in which I know you don't want to. I know Leaf fans don't want to reminisce too much because there was a door there to get to a cup final. Like there was a lot of what ifs because there was a lot of what ifs on what if you got through and beat the Habs. What would a Edmonton Toronto playoff series would have looked like? What would a cup final been like if it was Toronto and Vegas? But that's a year where people try to reminisce on that time. It's like, no, those were two seasons I want to forget because we were at home watching things, especially that 2021 season where it was everybody, all the Canadian teams playing each other 9 times. No, we were in the bad place.
terrible. It was a dark time.
Like I I I got so tired of watching the Oilers beat up on Ottawa every. I got so tired of taking the Senators lunch. It was redundant. I was so tired of seeing Edmonton just beat up on the Sens every couple of days.
Yeah, like 3, 4 times is enough in a regular year, but like nine? No, no, never again.
Like
Never,
I
ever, ever again.
like I was begging for one game against the Anaheim Ducks. I need a break to see the Buffalo
Not
Sabres.
the dogs, not the Sabres. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
No, that was one of the more odd years in hockey. But again, huge props to that Hall of Fame class. It'll be fun to see them all go in on Monday night. And I do want to pull the curtain back a little bit on the Hall of Fame ceremony. And maybe one day we'll get to have 3AP go down there and cover that event. I'll say as much. Why I like covering that event, what I've done before in the past. The amount of free food you get. So there's a buffet because it's in the Hall of Fame. There's that food court in the Hall of Fame. There's that pasta Italian place in the
Hmm.
food court there. They turn into a private dining area for the media, and
Oh,
it's an all-you-can-eat buffet during the Hall of Fame ceremony.
So you're saying we should walk with Tupperware?
Always.
Yo, because the amount of food that is still there when that ceremony is done is wild. There's still food left.
And where do we think it's gonna go afterwards?
Yo, better go somebody who needs the food.
My tummy.
I can make room in my fridge.
Yo, but that I never again like I've never eaten so good in my life at that because like I said, prime Italian food, all you can eat, everybody there, and it's everybody in media and hockey world is there. So you're sitting down there, you're sitting next to Chris Johnson, you're sitting next to Pierre LeBrun, you're sitting next to heavy hitters, just crushing this lasagna.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Good conversation and good food. You can't go wrong with that.
No, not at all. It's a fun red carpet time. It's a fun event. But the only time I was ever in shock covering that event was it was 2013, the year when Chris Chelios went in when Chelios went into the Hall of Fame. So we're on the red carpet. Everybody is talking to players, alumni, and there's one person that people are wondering if he would walk by and do any media. The one person who showed up, Michael Jordan. And we're thinking like, wait, what? Because him and Chelios go back to their days in Chicago together. They are actually boys. So I was told. So did Michael do the red carpet? Hell no, he didn't do any media. He came in literally through one of the back doors in the bowels of the Hall of Fame to go in for Chelios' speech, so no one saw him come in.
Mm. But he still showed up for his boy.
He did, but I was thinking maybe
Well,
it
that
would
was
have
nice of
been.
him.
I was hoping for that 0.1% chance to run to Michael Jordan in the bowels of near Union Station or near the Hall of Fame.
Somewhere in the past, Michael Jordan is lurking.
That's hilarious to
That's
think
actually,
about.
Marsha's right. That is actually funny to think about that. Yeah, there's an actual probability that Michael Jordan was walking around the path. That is jokes.
That's just Toronto craziness.
That is, imagine Michael Jordan got lost in the path. That'd be funny. Imagine you got lost.
Join the club.
Oh my gosh. And going from the Hall of Fame class to the PWHL, and finally we have names for the Vancouver and the Seattle franchise. After a long wait, the two team names are the Vancouver Golden Eyes and the Seattle Torrent. Troy, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the two names for the new PW teams?
So I'm not gonna lie, I had to look up what a golden eye was because my mind immediately went to the M64 007 game. Um, like, I'm not trying to sound insulting, but that's just how my mind works. Like my mind immediately went to the video game. So it is a medium-sized sea duck.
Hmm.
It's very territorial, um, and it's very aggressive. So I imagine that's what they're building off of. They plan to be an aggressive and very territorial team, which would make sense because I mean you don't want to sound like you're a lame duck, so to speak, for lack of a better term. Like, and it gets people kind of talking. Like, hey, like this is like makes people like me want to Google what it is. Figure it out and then tie the two together. Um, I am impartial. I'm kind of leaning more towards I like it more because I'm not really familiar with Western Canada to really say anything otherwise. I don't want to be that guy who's talking shit about talking crap about the West Coast. And I've never been there to really have any backup to any of my claims, so I'm not gonna do that. Seattle Torrance. Some people are probably like, why did they name it after like a bit torrent? They're probably thinking digital media stuff instead of water. But I think the name suits them because if you're familiar, like if you remember anything from geography class, it rains a lot in Seattle. Um, and torrents can be big, powerful storms. And so, again, tying the name together with the team, they plan to be big and powerful, big and powerful team. That plans to do damage because sometimes torrents can do that. So, it. I think from a naming standpoint, it makes sense for both teams. I don't know what other options there were, but I think these are two good names to start with.
Mhm. Marsha, what are your impressions on the two brand new names?
Um, Golden Eyes, love their logo. It's great, peering into your soul. The
Hmm.
colors, beautiful. 10 out of 10. I miss Sarah Nurse so much, but she looks so good in that jersey. Um, I just want her to come back. Um, I may have cried a little bit, but it's okay. Um, with Seattle, I'm not gonna lie, I was the tech nerd that immediately went to like uTorrent, like computer, completely forgetting that Washington is just water. You know, I should have like never forgotten the Twilight in me, where Forks, Washington, just all it did was rain. Uh, um, but in that same regard, um, it's kind of a good like double entendre kind of thing because Seattle is also a bit of a techie place. Um, Obviously not as much as like California, but it does have some of those roots. So like the water, the tech, torrent as a double vibe. Um, but like fast moving stream of water, that's a really good thing. You kind of make people go look it up and be like, ah, okay, that makes sense. Um, it's still like I feel like their logo doesn't give as much oomph as the golden eye for me. It feels very like soft. If you're talking like violent, like fast move, like swift, the logo gives like stream and like smooth water. I don't know if that's just me. I'm not sure of what other design criticisms have been flowing in the ether. Um, I've seen more like discussion about Vancouver than I have about Seattle on the interwebs. But you know what? It is what it is. They exist. I'm happy that they do. Um, I don't know what happened and how Seattle flubbed with their stuff leaking hours before. But that was hilarious to me. But somehow it didn't really affect things too much. But I had to laugh because I'm like, how did we let that happen? Because it was everything, like the whole website, the whole logo, the whole web page. But eh, things happen in the world of technology. What can we do? But so that was a nice little thing before everything happened. But you know what? It's great that they finally have a name to the brand. But I will say it's still like really hard for me. And I don't think I'm the only one, like with the PWHL having like like PWHL city name. I feel like I still refer to some teams as that instead of their like actual team name because that was such a large part of the brand for so long. Like switching to their actual team name is still a little bit of work. So I think it'll be a little bit of both for some
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, and my thing with that is with the old P-Dub monikers and the jerseys is that Seattle and Vancouver are coming out with jerseys this year that are in the same vein of those year one generic ones. But my thing is that you've had your name and logo taken care of. Why not wait to put the team logos on. Like, why? You know what your brand is. So why are you still rolling out these generic jerseys for Vancouver and Seattle? To me, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. 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 You make a really good point. Like, why are we wasting the money to do it? Or like,
Probably marketing.
yeah, that
Because I
cohesive.
mean, if the first six had, yeah, cohesiveness. Because I mean, if the first six had it, why not add these two to go along with it, just so they can say it's like original, even though they're expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess that's probably just like a little Easter egg trend thing that they plan on doing. That each time they expand, just to have it in that content
Yeah.
while they and then rock the logo. But Avery is right though. Like like if they're not doing it that way, if you already had your logo and your branding and stuff in place, just roll out with that. Like stop
Yeah.
wasting people's time.
Yeah,
Or at least do the season with like actually build the vibe, like how everyone had to wait for that.
yeah,
Or if you were gonna do it, then okay, the expansion's announced, announce it earlier so that the last season, while the season's going on, people can rep PWHL Vancouver, PWHL Seattle while the season's going on. And then you're ready for expansion draft. People know that, oh, PWHL Vancouver is actually now going to be Vancouver Golden Eyes. So we're switching from the generic to the team brand. Like the timeline should have been a little bit different.
yeah. To me, that was just really weird. And I know you said on last week's show. I know it's sounding like the next round of expansion is more than likely it's going to probably be Quebec City, Edmonton, and maybe one other American team coming in. Like I hope next year we don't have to deal with generic Quebec City jerseys or generic Edmonton jerseys if those are the cities for next year. Like,
Yeah. It'll kind of be like, okay, we get it.
yeah,
Again, like, unless you do it properly. Like, don't give it to me for a month and then be like, haha, here's the logo.
right.
Then you're making people spend money twice.
Yeah, like that's the thing. People don't want to double. I mean, people will do it, but they from jump, they want that look from day one. They don't want to have to double back and then get something else after getting their day one jerseys or day one hats, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, oh man. With that being said, we'll wrap things up here with one final topic: the Edmonton Oilers, who are still trying to get things out of the mud right now. At time of this taping on Hockey Night in Canada, lost one of their worst, had suffered their worst loss in 15 years, losing to the Colorado Avalanche 9-1 on home ice. That was ugly. That was a People were leaving Rogers Place. What about 12 minutes left to go in the third period? Folks had seen enough. When it was a 7-1 game, folks had enough. They were done. They were out of there by the time it got to be that bad. And I look at things, I think to myself, watching that game last night, that's a team that what Colorado is head and shoulders above a lot of teams. Colorado is a wagon once again. The Avalanche are back. From what I saw, six players had multi-point games. Nate McKinnon had 4 points. Cale Makar had two big goals. I mean, yeah, and even guys like Parker Kelly had two goals in the game against Edmonton. That team is going to be scary to watch come to the postseason. But for Edmonton, that's a team where I understand they are capable of getting it out of the mud, but after a while, you have to start strong. You can't be trailing again. You can't be playing from behind all season long. And I know you're going to get back Zach Hyman pretty soon here, but this is a team that cannot keep playing behind the eight ball as the season goes on. Your thoughts on that, Marsha?
You're right. This is not the time to slack off exponentially. It is a time of trial and error. Yes, you might be missing key components. Yes. But a 9-1, like as we're approaching mid November, to the point where fans are fed up and leaving and it looks like there is no hope is has to be frustrating for everyone. Um, and it's like, where do you go from here? What's a conversation in the locker room? Um, does it look like we're accepting defeat? Because it should not. Um, it's still early. This is the time to figure out hijinks. Um, because yes, Colorado is a team to build momentum and start figuring these types of things out, but they are also the type of team that can crash at the end of the month.
Mhm.
Um, so this is not the type of thing that you want to let get to you. But at the same time, we really need to sit down, have some sort of team bonding thing, and have one of the Connor McDavid yelling, "What the hell is going on? Like what was that we just did there?" Because hello,
Mhm.
and that, like, you can't just blame that on your goaltending, because there's so many things that have to happen before you get to your goaltending that allows the score to get to 9,
Mhm.
right?
Uh, of course. Troy, I'll ask you, do you feel that kind of loss can be or can it be a real gut check game for Edmonton? Because like Marsha said, there's a variety of things to get into. Of course, defending was not great. Cal Pickard and Stu Skinner had a terrible night. So in your mind, is this going to be the gut check game, the game that makes the Oilers look in the mirror in terms of what they want to be going forward, Troy?
It should be. If it's not, it definitely should be. Every team is going to, getting belt to behind every once couple of times a season. You know, um, maybe the earlier that it happens, the better. Hopefully they use this as a learning tool um, to finally get some stuff together and figure out which way they want to go here. Um, and I say this all the time, like for every team, like not just the Leafs, but like you you want to get as many points as you can before Christmas. Um, you can't be taking shellackings on the regular, because that's how you end up missing out. Hopefully, there won't be another blowout of such an epic proportion like that 9-1 blowout. Um, yeah, maybe you have another closed door meeting if they haven't had one already. Get down the brass tacks and be like, what's going on? Like, what do we need to adjust? Um, and I would say honestly, and like have the goalie speak up more. Tell them what they're seeing. Tell them what needs to adjust. I mean, coaches can say, do X and O, X and O, and X and O this, but if your goalie's paying attention, he should have the most absolute idea of what's going on and seeing who's playing where. And because, goalies are a special breed. They have books on everybody. So, I mean, like, talk to your goalies more. Figure out how they can help you, and then maybe that'll lead to more saves instead of goals. Because, I mean, I'm sure these guys are getting tired of fishing pucks out of the back of their net because something's gone wrong in front of them.
Mhm. Yeah, they should be tired of it, and we'll definitely see because Edmonton goes on an extended road trip because the annual Canadian Finals Rodeo comes to Edmonton every November. So they're on the road now, or they will be on the road after the game against Columbus on Monday. 7 game road trip, taking on teams like Washington, Florida, Tampa. So that's a major test. I mean, yes, you're playing Eastern Conference opponents, but you got to get points in those games because look at what's happening in the West with teams like Utah, Seattle, Anaheim. They're sorting things out. They're doing pretty well, and I believe everything can turn things around. But hey, those teams you might be in a round one or round two matchup against the Kraken or Utah. So
You
or
said it. You said
mhm,
it. You got to be prepared. And as Troy said, get as many points as you can before Christmas, because after Christmas, you're going to be left scrambling.
mhm,
And like, yeah, there's still a chance at wild card, but the higher up you are in the standings, the better it might be for you. So like leave it so that we're getting into panic mode in the second half of the season, right?
Yep. No, cannot agree. Say better than myself, Marsha. So, with that being said, we're gonna wrap things up here on third intermission. Any last thoughts, Marsha and Troy?
Stay warm. It's rough out there. The trees are still green, but there's snow on the roofs. What can we do? But watch some hockey and feel good.
I'm
That
seeing.
part.
Yep. I mean, I'm seeing the snow. I mean, I was watching the Can PL final. I saw the snow in Ottawa. I'm seeing the snow in various soccer matches across Ontario. It's like, yo, I'm coming back to that in a few days. Oh, brother.
Yeah, no, dude, they had to postpone the like the
So,
NSL playoffs game today
yeah.
until tomorrow to try to clean it up a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's a little bit warmer for them and they can have a nice game. But
Yeah, yeah, we will definitely see. With that being said, we're gonna wrap things up. It has been Avery with Marsha and Troy. Make sure drink your water, mind your business, and thank you for letting us grace a space in between your head top. We're gone. Deuces.